This video is not going to be about how to pick the perfect shade of skin tint because let's face it, lots of us need more coverage than a skin tint can provide. Obviously, a skin tint is going to look more skin-like than a really full coverage foundation, but if you follow the steps within this video, even a really high coverage foundation can look super skin-like and stay true all day long. So if you are fed up of your foundation looking heavy, looking cakey throughout the day, going super shiny, then this video is for you. You do not need to use a skin tint. This is not about the foundation or level of coverage. So let's get on with it. So like I said, this really isn't about the foundation type. You can have an affordable foundation, a high-end foundation, a matte foundation, a satin foundation, a luminous foundation, a radiant foundation, one that's really high coverage, one that's sheer coverage. It really doesn't matter. These tips and tricks should work for you. Obviously, you are going to have to pick a foundation that suits your skin type. If you have really dry, flaky skin, a really flat matte foundation is probably not going to look the best on you. It's probably going to emphasize your dry patches and look more like foundation than skin. So you do have to bear that in mind. The shade of your foundation is incredibly important though, because if you get this wrong, if you get the shade wrong or the undertone wrong, it's just not going to look like your skin because it's not going to be the correct shade. If you go too light, you're going to look ill and the foundation is just going to look wrong. If you go too dark, you're going to have to blend it down your neck and it may look perfect at the beginning, but then your clothes rub on the neck, revealing your natural skin tone, your natural skin shade, which is then going to make the foundation on your face just look off and not skin-like at all. So it is imperative that you get the right shade match. Now you can achieve this by going into store and getting your skin shade match professionally, but if you want the exact foundation match, let me introduce Decipher. Now, Decipher is the first AI shade matching foundation brand out there. Lots of other brands do use AI technology for shade matching. If you're in your own home, you can do a scan of your face and they'll send you a product that is the nearest match to you. What Decipher do is create your own personalized formula, and it's blown me away. I thought this just can't work. This just really can't work, but it really does, or at least it has done for me. So on the Decipher website, you can pick the level of coverage that you want, the actual finish that you want, whether you want radiant, whether you want natural, whether you want matte, and also you can personalize it to your skin type as well, which we've already said is incredibly important, especially if you have super dry skin. You can see that my complexion is on the very fair spectrum and my undertone is neutral but more dominant warm, which I already knew about, but it was really great to have it confirmed because as soon as this came through, I knew this foundation was going to be good. Choosing your correct shade can be a real challenge, and if you're wanting it to be slightly easier, then Decipher makes that possible for you. Highly recommend, and that is the foundation that I'm going to be using throughout this video, but again, you can use any foundation you like. Tip number 2, don't skip dermaplaning. Now, dermaplaning is the art of shaving the peach fuzz off the face. And I know a lot of people are scared of dermaplaning because they think that it's going to make them be hairier over time. Let me tell you, that has never happened to anybody that I've done dermaplaning on, and it definitely hasn't happened to me. My mum also does dermaplaning. She's 72. I don't know whether that matters to any of you. I'm on HRT. My mum's not on HRT. Both of us have had perfect experience with dermaplaning. So if you have a lot of peach fuzz on your skin, it's often not evenly spread. So there's certain areas of your face that has more hair on it than others. And when you apply foundation to your skin, that foundation can sit heavier on those areas of high peach fuzz, cling to those hairs and make your foundation look uneven, a little bit patchy, which makes your foundation look like foundation and not like skin. There are so many other benefits to dermaplaning though, not just making your foundation sit better on your skin and making it look like skin. If you do want me to do a full video on dermaplaning, how to do it safely in your own home, the benefits and the negatives, do let me know in the comment section. I'd be happy to do one. Tip number 3, Don't skip skin prep. It is super, super important. I'm not talking about a well-rounded skincare routine, although, you know, I'm a skincare gal, you know I'm going to be a stickler for people having a well-rounded skincare routine. But if you are going to be applying any sort of foundation to the skin, you cannot skip moisturizer. Please don't skip moisturizer. Your skin needs moisture, and it will also help you apply the foundation so much more smoothly. Also, if you have texture on your skin, if you have large pores, you may want to choose a primer that is going to help to smooth the canvas of your face. So I'm not going to tell you which of these products that I would use because they're specific to me, the ones that I've used. If you are interested, I'll link everything in the description box for you, but you can use whatever moisturizer you have to hand and also any primer. If it works for you, it's good for me. Tip number 4, do your concealing first. I know this may seem a little backwards and I've spoken about this lots in previous videos, but it seriously works and I highly recommend it. If you have imperfections on your skin, which everybody has, whether that be dark circles, pigmentation, discoloration, prominent veins, all that sort of thing, if you have those evident when you're applying your foundation, you automatically think that you need more foundation because those imperfections are still visible. So if you do your concealing first, something in the back of your brain makes you apply less foundation than you would if they were still prominent, if you get what I mean. I'm not explaining myself very well, but believe me, it truly works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it's just a thing that goes off in the back of my head. I always apply less foundation if I've done my concealing than if I hadn't done it first. So there we go. Tip number 5, another tip to help you apply less foundation. Psychologically, this definitely works for me anyway. Only apply the tiniest amount of foundation to the back of your hand. You don't need to apply a full pump or even 2 pumps of foundation, even if you know you'll probably end up using that amount. If you apply 2 pumps to the back of your hand, you are going to use that amount of foundation, regardless of whether you need it or not. So only apply the tiniest amount. You can always dispense a little bit more foundation onto the back of your hand if you want to. Yes, this is going to take a little bit longer if you're constantly just putting a little bit more there, a little bit more there. But believe me, by the end of the day, when your foundation is looking perfect still, you will thank yourself for doing it little by little. Tip number 6, choose your tools wisely. And this is incredibly important, especially if you have dry, flaky skin, because if you do have dry, flaky skin, brushes are not going to be your friend. Regardless of the foundation, regardless of the skin prep, regardless of whether you're just stamping the foundation into your face with the brush, brushes can be a little harsh on the skin, and if you have dry, flaky skin, they're just going to flip up more dryness, more flakiness, and your foundation is not going to look like your skin. It's just going to be a beacon on those dry areas and it's going to look crusty throughout the day. If you do have super dry skin, a sponge is always going to be your best friend. Honestly, sponges are phenomenal. Not only can you not swipe with a sponge and irritate the skin, but these are damp. They are going to be really hydrating, nourishing. They're going to push that foundation into your skin without hindering the skin barrier at all. Tip number 7 is all about even application, making your foundation last throughout the day and making sure that your foundation doesn't go patchy, which is going to make your foundation look like foundation and not like skin. So regardless of what application method you choose, whether that be a brush or whether that be a sponge, you need to make sure that the foundation covers the application area of that tool. So of that brush, of that sponge, really get it deep into the applicator before you apply it to the skin. Now, getting it deep in the applicator doesn't mean applying loads to the sponge. It doesn't mean that at all. You just need to make sure that you've applied enough to make sure the whole surface area is covered and it's evenly done. So then when you apply it to your skin, you're not going to be applying more to a certain area than to another area. If you just squirt your foundation onto your brush and then start going in, It's obvious that you're going to apply way more in the first area that you're going to than in the last area that you go to. So make sure that that foundation is evenly distributed. Number one, it's going to be so much quicker to apply if you do it this way because you're not going to have to blend everything out to the nth degree. And yeah, it's going to be even right at the very beginning, and it's going to last that way all the way through the day. Tip number 8 works for if you are using a brush for application or a sponge for application. For the purposes of this video, I'm using a sponge for application because I've got a bit of dryness around this area and I didn't want to kick up any flakes. So, using a sponge. If you are using a sponge, you are going to need 2 sponges. One is a dirty sponge, one is a clean sponge. I mean, it's not dirty, it is clean. By the way, it is clean, but what I mean by dirty sponge, this is for your application. This is the one that you are going to apply your foundation with. The second sponge, the clean sponge, is to remove excess and to smooth. Smoothing your foundation is key to a long-lasting foundation. It is also key to making your foundation look like skin. If you're not doing this step and you're finding that your foundation is looking cakey throughout the day, looking patchy throughout the day, the next day, do this step and believe me, you are not going to be disappointed because your foundation is going to look so much better for so much longer. So again, you are going to need a sponge for this, even if you're applying the bulk of your foundation with a brush. Not only is the clean sponge great for removing any excess product, which we don't need, the more foundation you have on your skin, the cakier it's going to be throughout the day, but it's also great at really pushing that foundation into the skin, melting it into the skin. The more the foundation is melted into the skin, the more natural it's going to look. So yeah, definitely do this step. Even if you're applying your foundation with a brush, go over it with a damp sponge afterwards. You can thank me later. Believe me, you will thank me later. Tip number 9, only apply powder where you need it. And I've seen so many people, including myself in the past, that gets this massive big powder puff and just puts it all over the skin. I mean, they might put a setting spray over the top of it to try and melt it into the skin, but most people, not all, don't need that level of powder. Nobody's skin is flat matte. Why are we trying to make our skin flat matte? We need a little bit of shine coming through because that's what skin does. So making your skin flat matte is going to make your foundation look like foundation and not like skin. So only apply powder where you desperately need it, where you need a little bit of shine control, where you need a little bit more longevity within your foundation for it to last longer throughout the day. Only apply powder there and you will get better results throughout the day. And finally, tip number 10, apply a little bit of setting spray over the face, and that will melt everything together, not only add longevity, but will also help your skin look like skin. It will look flawless for longer. It will look very, very natural, very, very skin-like. You can pick your setting sprays, whether you want something dewy, whether you want something radiant, whether you want something a little bit more matte or more natural. There are setting sprays on the market that will do all of those things for you and make your makeup last longer throughout the day. After you've applied it, you can always go over with your sponge and just make sure that that's all pressed into the skin, especially where you need extra longevity, underneath the eyes where you might experience a little bit of creasing, in between the brows, around the nose, on the chin, which is my particular problem area because it's the area that I am oiliest. You can just make sure that that is stamped into the skin and everything is melted together and looks perfection. Honestly, perfect base every single time. A base that is going to last from the start of the day all the way through to the end. So that's it. I already know that people are going to say 10 steps. That's such a long-winded process for first thing in the morning. It is worth every single second, and once you get going, this is going to take you no time at all. I mean, at all. A matter of moments for a perfect foundation base throughout the day. I think, well, you know, I think it's worth it, especially if I'm going to an event or something like that where I need to look polished. Then yeah, this definitely helps. All of the 10 tips definitely help. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it really doesn't matter what foundation, moisturizer, powder, setting spray you use, as long as it works for you, these tips should work. However, if you do want to know what products I've used in this video, I will link them in the description box for you. Click on the link for Decipher and see about getting your perfect shade match. Honestly, it blew me away. It is absolute perfection. And nobody else will have your shade. Nobody. It is personalized to you, which, I mean, it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Do you use any of these tips already? Are you going to use them in the future? If you haven't used some of these tips already, do them tomorrow. Check them out on your skin and let me know how you get on. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it with somebody that might find it helpful. Also hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.